I'm under contract right now for a new house at a 10% interest rate, and that's the only reason that I decided to buy this house. Let me explain.
In the secondary by Teré Calloway.
What's going on, guys? It's Teré Calloway, the #1 ranked realtor in the state of Alabama on social media and number 62 in North America. That's right, I moved up a spot, and I'm here to talk to you guys about why I am buying a house solely because I have a 10% interest rate. But first, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe so this channel can get boosted and you can be notified for all my future real estate videos and especially videos about Huntsville, Alabama. So let's get into it. Yes, it's true. I am under contract on a home at a 10% interest rate. It's been bought down to 8.3% interest rate. And that is the only reason that my wife and I are buying a home, is that we saw interest rates go up. So just for clarification, this isn't a situation where we needed to buy a house or we're moving somewhere so we were stuck with what was going on. No, this was 100% our choice. We actually have 8 other houses. So this was very strategic on our part. And we saw interest rates go up and we said, hey, now's the time to make a move. So the first reason why we decided to buy a house with a 10% interest rate is because we understood that there was going to be less competition and we're going to get better prices. And I know you've seen the past 2 years where you saw 50 cars lined up outside of houses and things of that nature. And the reason for that was simply supply and demand. We had a low supply due to COVID, a ton of things, and interest rates were super low, so the demand was extremely high. And that caused a lot of places to have houses selling for way more than they normally would. And you see that in a lot of areas, Seattle, Washington, Tacoma, Washington. No, I'm not just picking on my home state. Those are 2 of the top 10 cities that have had crashes, and also places like San Francisco. And the reason for this is Huntsville, Alabama has organic growth. We're the #1 ranked city to live in the US. It's been that way for a while. We have a ton of development and a ton of people and industries investing into the city. So we've already been appreciating at record high numbers regardless of the supply and demand. So knowing that it was going to be less competitive and we're going to get better prices, as well as knowing that Huntsville is going to continue to appreciate, and Yahoo Finance said in the next 8 years that we're going to go from the average home being $260,000 to $1.2 million. We know that our home is going to appreciate significantly. Even if it doesn't get to 1.2 million, even half of that, that would be a 200% increase in only 8 years. So regardless, we knew that it was really important for us to secure a property in a time where, we could get a great price and not have much competition. The second reason we decided that it was a great time to buy is incentives are being rolled out. Like we just talked about, when it was highly competitive, sellers weren't paying any closing costs, lenders weren't giving any type of credits, new construction builders weren't paying closing costs or giving any incentives or design center things. Those things weren't happening. They removed fridges, blinds, all types of things that were usually offered in a normal market. So knowing that a lot of people are going to be discouraged to buy, we said, hey, this is a chance where we can get everything we want. We can get all the incentives we need. And currently we're under contract with Legacy Homes, an amazing builder here in Huntsville, Alabama. And we got a design center credit, as well as we got our closing costs paid for. And those are things that, it could amount to $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 depending on the size house that was not available in previous markets. The third reason, and the most important reason for us, the third reason is there are more favorable loan programs for self-employed buyers and riskier profiles. And let me talk a little bit about that. So a lot of people don't really understand how mortgage lending works or lenders work in general. And basically, if a mortgage company isn't lending money, they're gonna go out of business. They have to lend money. So in the past few years, when interest rates were low and you had everybody wanting to buy, they had their normal W-2 buyers that were easy, less risk profiles, and they were doing it just left and right. So there's no need for them to, want to cater to someone like myself who is self-employed and, has a lot of tax write-offs and things of that nature. They were mainly focused on the easily qualified buyers. So because of that, we were able to take advantage of different loans that are now being thrown out. There's bank statement loans, 1099 loans. Rarely anybody was doing that in 2020 and 2021. But now that the market has started to change, you see it rolling out everywhere in 2023. And that also contributes to why our interest rate is at 10% and bought down to 8.3% instead of 6 and 7% like everybody else. Because yes, we have a riskier loan profile, but this is the best way for us financially to purchase a home without having to go through the traditional stuff that they want, 2 years tax returns and things of that nature. Number 4, and probably the most important, is rate is temporary, price is permanent. And in other words, rates do not matter. And I've made videos that have gone viral on TikTok and Instagram about this. And you hear everybody saying, date the rate, marry the house. And even though the saying is kind of becoming annoying to some, it's true. It's 100% true. And that's because anytime interest rates are lower, you can always refinance your home to that lower interest rate. And if interest rates never go lower, which some people argue, well, they might not ever go lower. Okay, then if you're ever planning to buy a house, that means today would be the lowest interest rate that you can get. So either way, it's a win-win. If you buy today and they never go lower, that means you're gonna have the lowest interest rate for the rest of your life. And if you buy today and they do go lower, that means that you're gonna get a lower priced home than everyone was the past 2 years. And also when rates go back down, you'll be able to refinance to the prevailing rate. So you'll have a lower priced home and you'll have a rate making your payment much lower as well. They buy a house for $550,000, so they're paying $100,000 more than you, but they have a 4% interest rate. So their monthly payment is only $2,600 a month. So they're saving $500 a month, even though their price is higher. So in their mind, they won, right? They did the right thing. That's not really true. The first reason it's not true is because during that time, they most likely were renting and they were paying someone else's mortgage. So they're paying 100% interest rate. But we can throw out that as well. The real reason they aren't winning is because they're not the only ones who can get that interest rate. Let's say you still owe $450. Let's say no principal, no equity. You still owe $450. Now you can refinance that $450 into a 4% interest rate. So now your payment goes from $3,100 a month all the way down to $2,100 a month. $500 a month less than your friend who just bought a house for $100,000 more. And last, number 5, but definitely not least, the reason that we're buying right now is because we can afford a 10% interest payment on our home. And that is extremely important. And I want everybody to hear that, buyers, realtors, everyone, because interest rates only don't matter if you can afford the home you want at the current interest rate. And I say that because a lot of people I've seen on social media and things like that, I've seen people push people to buy, at the top of their budget. But if interest rates don't go down, which they will, like we know they will, historically they will, but if they didn't, you'd be stuck with that payment. So it's extremely important to make sure that the payment that you could possibly be stuck with is one that you can afford. Now, will you be stuck with that payment? No, but you don't know when you'll be able to refinance out of that payment. It could be 1 year, it could be 2 years, could be 5 years. So in the meantime, you need to make sure that that's a payment that you are comfortable with monthly. And any of my clients can vouch for me and know that I will tell them all the same thing. And I make sure that their monthly payment is one that they know that they can take care of and not be overly stressed about. And the reason that I'm sharing this video is because I practice what I preach. I tell everybody that now is a fantastic time to buy because of the reasons that I listed before, but also I'm not just telling people that, I'm doing it. And as mentioned before as well, I have other houses. I have a beautiful house that I'm in right now, and we had no intentions on buying another house anytime soon. The only reason I decided to buy a new house was because interest rates went up. So nobody can say that, hey, you're not practicing what you're preaching. What I'm doing is I understand the market very well. I understand how interest rates work, and I understand my area. I know my area is going to appreciate. So whatever I buy now will be worth double in the next 5 to 7 years. And I also understand that by buying now at a lower price and lowering my interest rate lower, that I'm going to have a better deal in the long run. This is a 30-year mortgage, not a 3-year mortgage. You're always locked into the price, but you also can always refinance your interest rate. So I thank you guys for watching and tuning in. And please like, share, and subscribe so a lot more people can see this video. And make sure that you send this to anyone who is maybe on the fence about buying where there are higher interest rates, because I think it's really important for people to be educated on why it is a good time to buy, because a lot of people just say interest rates are high without understanding. Because if you're renting instead of buying, you're paying 100% interest. 100% interest on renting versus 7% interest on owning. Think about that. All right, you guys, I appreciate y'all. Tune into the next video and have a happy 2023.